Hi everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Screams After Midnight. This is our horror movie podcast here on the Melfuzz Podcast Network. You may be watching us on YouTube or listening to us on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever, but this week we're doing the unthinkable. We're adhering to Kevin's demands, his insane lunatic demands, who, by the way, is back. Kevin is here. Say hello, Kevin.
I'm here. It's M. Night destined me to be here.
Yeah.
So, I'm here.
Destiny wills it, yes. Today we are talking about M. Night Shyamalan's new film, The Visit. And joining us for this special occasion, we have more than the usual amount, mainly because Kevin was vanished for a week and we arranged other people to come on and then he showed up at the last minute. But anyway, Joseph's here as always.
Hello.
We have Alex here guesting for the first time.
Hey, Peter. Thanks for letting me be here.
And we've got Matt from 1.21 Gigawatts.
Yep. Don't let him believe that he's letting you do anything. All right. That only adds to his dictator demeanor.
Look, I live in the South. I've got to be nice. That's just one of the rules.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You get none of that out
I
west.
live in the South.
Well, look, I mean, at least the people of my own race. I'm just kidding. It's a Southern joke because they're terrible people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Southern people are terrible. Yes. Let's move on before this goes down a rabbit hole that we can't escape out of. So we're talking about The Visit. This is the new release that just came out this past Friday. It's Shyamalan's first film since his last legendary outing, which was After Earth. And so this is a found footage movie. It's two grandkids who are going to see their grandparents for the first time. The daughter is a wannabe documentary filmmaker, so she decides she wants to film the entire thing because her grandparents and her mother haven't seen each other since she stormed out when she was 18 or whatever age she was, and that's kind of her setup for why she's recording everything. Fine, whatever. I'm sick of found footage movies, but whatever, I'll just gloss over the reasoning at this point. I don't care. Did this need to be found footage? I don't think it did. It could have been a regular movie.
I didn't know that it was a found footage movie before I went in. I honestly had only seen maybe one trailer months ago. I think before Jurassic World, maybe. So I didn't really care because I was like, M. Night, get off the screen. I want to see dinosaurs. Come on.
I saw the trailer before every movie I went to see all summer long.
Yeah, I'm close.
It's been building towards this.
Yeah, I'm closer to that. It's at least been playing before anything that's remotely thriller or horror related for the last 3 months.
All Blumhouse films that we've seen this year.
Yeah, all those
7 or 8 of them.
Yeah, that Blumhouse guy, he's responsible for 80% of the horror output in modern cinema.
We really need to make a deal with him.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's talk about and obviously before we get started here, I will say full spoilers as always for the film we're talking about. And this is a Shyamalan film, so there possibly could be something to spoil, as he is known for.
There's a twist, guys.
As Matt jumps in, there's a twist.
A twist.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the twist first? Because it seems like the biggest thing to talk about. Do you want to get that out of the way and then talk about the details?
I feel like we should work up to it because it's a
I
good.
don't want to spoil it right at the beginning.
All right, do you want to go chronological? We can go chronological. So we're introduced to the characters, and they explain the backstory that I've already sort of gotten at.
Yeah.
And the mother has some relationship issues. She's gone on a cruise for the week while her kids go to the grandparents. And it's on the train journey to the grandparents that we finally get a taste of the characters.
The first terrifying thing in the movie, for sure,
is the I believe, Matt, you're referring to the freestyle rap.
Yes.
I loved it. That was fun.
What's his rapper name? It's T-Pence or T-Bizzle.
T-Diamond or something.
T-Diamond. I think it was T-Diamond. T-Diamond something. There was another.
His real name's Tyler, but he's got 300 hits on YouTube, so he's one of our contemporaries.
Yeah. More flow than listeners. That's T-Diamond.
Move over straight over Compton. This is all I need in terms of rap.
Yeah.
T-Diamond.
Did you hear him? He was like, "Hey, have you heard of Tyler the Creator?"
Yeah.
Some people say I've got his.
Inspired. Yeah. bringing in Tyler the Creator, and the kid's name was Tyler. But that's not the twist, guys. There's more than that.
Yeah, there's more to it than that. Oh god! So that becomes a thing throughout. Actually, as the kids freestyling, he even freestyles for his grandparents. He freestyles.
Mm-hmm.
We even get a nice during credit sequence of just uncut freestyling, which I'm sure everyone stuck around to watch all of.
In which he sums up the events of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which it's as if the events of the movie didn't affect him at all, because
Yeah.
I mean, before we get to the end, I mean, it's horrific and they're crying and it's like this. I almost picture like 6 months
Dramatic.
later him in a psych ward or something, freaking out. But
Yeah,
instead he's like,
rocking himself to sleep in the corner.
Yeah.
he's like, "Yo, shit don't taste like chicken." What? You just paid for this.
Should not. I will admit that part where he kept using the pop artist references.
Yeah.
The theater I was in, they laughed every single time he dropped a name.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
They
That was
loved him.
well seated throughout the movie, for sure.
All right, let's go over to Kevin now for his thoughts on the sort of opening acts of the film. I want to hear your thoughts on how the start of the tension builds before we come in with our thoughts.
Well, first things first. I get my overall thoughts of the film. I think I've shot myself in the foot.
You didn't have to shot yourself in the leg, buddy. You're beyond foot. You stepped on a landmine.
I think I built it up, and it exceeded my expectations. It didn't. I don't. It was okay. The character. Oh God, I couldn't stand T-Bone or whatever his name was. I couldn't stand him. He wasn't funny. And I think I tweeted to Joseph way back in August. I said, a found footage horror comedy. M. Night finally lost it. In that he's gone crazy. I think he's gone crazy. This film was something, because I knew it was going to be a horror comedy, but sort of I didn't expect the comedy to be so prevalent. I didn't expect it to be so much of a comedy. But then the two main characters, and if I sound like the girl whenever I talk about film, it just shut me up, because she was so far up her own ass. I could not bear to listen to her.
Well,
It's called
I was
visual
reminded
tension.
of Peter.
do you know, it's funny you say that, because out of the two of them, I related more to the girl just because she was so into film.
Of course you did.
Like, well, no, I agree she was up her own ass, but at least when she was talking about framing a shot, or like, I'll stand next to the swing because it's going to be a good, shot. Like, I understood that. Like,
Organic.
I related to her more than I did the little shit, because he was just freestyling the whole time.
But that's her character representation, though. She's the person that's far too in that you meet in film school already.
Yeah.
She's been doing this for years, and she knows more than you. And I just, that drove me nuts. Like, just little tiny, like, it's been a while since I saw this on Friday, so I've had quite a time. So I don't remember the key phrases, but there were certain ones where I wanted to throw stuff at the screen.
Yeah.
Just,
It was ridiculous. Like, just let it move organically. It's called visual tension.
well, the whole thing. Well, we can't set up the camera because we have to be participating. Well,
It's called ethics. Like, shut up.
Grandma's losing her mind. It's
Also,
our
what's going on?
to document this.
Yeah, hold on, wait a minute. Has anyone ever heard this? If you're not participating in the documentary frame at the time, it's unethical. Most documentaries don't have a presenter.
Yeah.
They just...
I think it's more about filming somebody without them knowing that they're being filmed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
that-
participation thing, I think, is more of, if they're going to be in the movie, then they need to be interviewed. That's why every time that she sat down with her grandmother, it's like, all right, you're the star of the movie, whatever. It's like, that's the only way that she was going to get something. Because remember, the whole reason she's making this movie isn't to figure out why grandma's crazy, is to try and get her mom to finally move forward with her life.
But again, the best documentaries are the ones that find stuff as they start to shoot something else, like Capturing the Freedmans, and then it opens up into a whole different can of worms.
Wasn't that the pile of shit diapers?
That maybe
That
playing tag.
there's the shed. It's like, are there dead bodies in there? What's
Yeah.
going on? And then he finds it, and then that's really when it starts to be like, oh, okay, these people are mentally
Look.
unstable.
Yeah. There's gotta be a better way to dispose of those. Like, it's not like go.
He burns them, I guess.
Yeah.
I just I didn't have much of a problem with that. I think I was more too focused on what the grandparents were doing to be overly concerned
Yeah.
with some of the way the kids were speaking, except when the freestyle rap came into it, because that was, how could you possibly not notice and care about that? Yeah, so let's talk about the grandparents themselves, because that's really what everything's about. It's what everything revolves around as the movie goes on. Right away, they meet them at the train station, and they seem nice enough. They're waving, and they look happy that their grandkids have shown up. And the first day goes pretty much by without a hitch, I think. Until night time, at least until after they go to bed and they start hearing noises.
Yeah.
I think the first day's fine. Okay, cool, whatever, right? And then we get to the creepy stuff. Now, I can't remember exactly the order.
The first creepy thing on night one was the grandmother puking everywhere.
That's
Yeah.
right,
Because
that's right.
because she went down to go get more cookies or whatever. And then I think it was on the second day or the third day was when she accidentally spilled stuff on the computer.
That was
that was a little bit
towards like
later.
fourth day in the daytime. The second night was when she was naked, scratching at the door.
Yeah.
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 That's right.
That was the biggest scare, I think, in the theater I was in. Was
Really?
because no one. Well, yeah, because everyone was expecting from the trailer to her be fully clothed, and to see naked grandma, that caused quite a startle. Mind you, I told this story a little bit on 1.21. I had a back row filled of 14 to 15-year-olds that were talking so loud it was as if they were right behind me instead of 6 rows behind me. So apparently they think old people are gross. But that was that was the biggest scare up to that point.
T Diamond concurs with this, because when
Yes.
he sees a glimpse of Grandma's ass or whatever, he's like,
gone
I'm blind. Which actually, I think that's even before we get to that. It's during the second day when they're playing hide and seek under the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just the kids, and then the grandma decides to start acting like she's the girl out of The Grudge.
I'm gonna get you.
Crawling about as if she's got like superhuman speed. She's like fucking Spider-Man under that house.
Yep.
I was really into that scene. I can't
It was
lie.
a good scene. It was a good scene.
It was well shot, but it was just ridiculous because of who the menace was.
Well, it made
Sure.
it seem like grandma was a creature. So when we get
Yeah.
to the twist, that's a thing that I had issues with, is the setup to what the twist could be, and then it kind of falling flat.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
feel like it might be a supernatural twist, because there's no
Yeah.
way a woman who's that old should be able to
Yeah.
move around like
Yeah,
that.
she can hardly walk down the stairs. Like, you see her to go down to the porch and whatever. She needs Grandpa's help, yet she's rolling around doing bear crawls in the underneath the house.
And then when they came out from under the house, like, Grandma comes out and she turns around and walks away, and her skirt's like sort of caught up, and you can just see her bare ass.
Again, Grandma don't like underwear. That's what I learned from this movie.
I have to imagine that the actress playing the grandma role never thought she'd be doing this amount of nudity this late in her career.
Yeah,
She seemed to have a lot of fun the whole film.
yeah.
Like when we were talking about the camera being hidden, that jump scare moment where she just pops out and screams at the camera, you could tell she's having fun. Or the Yahtzee moment.
Yeah.
Oh, she's-
Or her just laughing at a wall.
Yeah,
Or the oven.
that was so creepy.
Oh god, the oven. Can you clean this oven for me? Okay. Can you climb inside it? Okay. Like, no. Haven't
Yeah,
you ever-
there's a point where you say, "No, fuck off, Grandma. I'm not doing
Well, that's the
that."
thing. I love my grandma, but if she ever asked me to get to an oven, I would have to tell her, no, it's clean. I promise you. Like, just take my word for it, Granny.
Sure, so it's okay. I like my ovens dirty. It's fine. The back can stay dirty.
Yeah, it adds to the flavor. It's fine.
Yeah. The heat will kill the germs. It's fine.
Also, Grandpa, too. I thought there was nice little touches with that actor because he seemed so clear throughout the entire movie. So I feel like it balanced, Grandpa trying to hide Grandma's secret.
He also had his
those
own
two
note,
balance.
because when they were out at the school and he just randomly decides that this guy's following him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And
also a
decides to
really,
tackle him.
there's also a really dark part that actually took me by surprise, where he's sitting in the shed or in the barn, and he's
With
about
a
to
gun,
pull the
yeah.
trigger with his gun.
Yeah.
That was
I think
in the
that's-
trailer for me.
Really?
Yeah, I had the trailer moment. I had her naked, scratching the door. I had most of those moments in the trailer.
Yep.
I mean, that was at least when the movie was getting interesting.
Yeah.
But let's talk about them covering up the twist then, because I feel like, I mean, this is a problem with a lot of twists in movies actually, but this one it really stuck out to me. It's just the amount of coincidences that have to happen for the characters not to be aware of what the twist is going to be. I mean, it's fine for us not to know it because they just choose what to show us and what not to show us, but...
Well, yeah, they know as much as we do because they've never met these people before.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they've really orchestrated the script in such a way that they just had to make sure the characters wouldn't know what they look like. Because the twist, of course, is that these people aren't actually their grandparents. These are two escaped mental patients who perhaps the real grandparents were counselling because they volunteered counselling duties. And they're dead and under the house, basically, is what's happened. And these two crazy old people have decided they want to play grandparents for a week. And I actually kind of like the twist in a way, because I like how conventional it is. It's just a simple little switcheroo. It's not him trying to like break the mold. And I like that there is a twist, because I feel like Shyamalan's at least trying to do what he used to do well. But at the same time, I do think he's kind of reaching for what he used to do and not quite getting it, because as soon as the grandma covered the camera on the laptop, I immediately guessed what the twist was.
Same here. I guessed it when the second the Stacy came to the door looking for them and they had stepped out again. And I just looked over at Jesse and I said, you know, they're not in the basement. But that's where their real grandparents are.
Yeah, like, see... as more people came, because she came twice and then the guy came who worked at the hospital or whatever.
The doctor.
And every time someone came, they conveniently weren't there. And, you know, the whole time I'm just like, okay, they're definitely not the real people. Like, that's exactly where this is going. And that's actually so much a large complaint, because at least I do always say that a really good twist should be at least somewhat predictable.
Yeah.
Just because if it's not, if it can't be figured out at all, then it's probably just pulled out of left field and won't be satisfying from a story.
It's more enjoyable your second round to see the clues leading up to it.
When it comes to which he's good at. We know that M. Night can do that. You know, from his first, you know, even The Village, everything was like the twist there was like lame, but it was seeded well. Yeah, I kind of like The Village, but
The Village is my favorite M. Night.
yeah,
It's not my
There you go.
favorite. I mean, I like it more than a lot of people do, but it's like...
but yeah, but that twist, you know, with that and it's seeded well, just like in here. So, you know.
So were you guys disappointed that it didn't end up being supernatural in some way?
Oh, I was hoping for werewolves.
I'm happy that it wasn't paranormal, actually. I've had so many paranormal movies lately where it could have gone either way and they went paranormal. I was so happy it didn't.
You know...
No poltergeist there, Joseph?
Excuse me?
No, that poltergeist movie you watched that wasn't actually a movie. I forget the name of it, but none of that here.
Oh, that haunted house demon poltergeist attack. Worst movie I've ever seen. 0.
With a title like that, you should have expected something bad out of that.
It had a 3 or a 2 something on IMDb. I decided to give it... It's not even a movie! It's like a false pilot for a haunted ghost hunter show. Nothing even happens. Everything that does happen, you can tell the actor doing it.
All right.
Anyways, M. Night had nothing to do with that.
Yeah. So back to the visit. So so the twist happens and it's sort of predictable, but it works well enough. It's a nice little twist that's not.
I even before I went in, I guessed it. I was like, this isn't the real parents. This isn't the real grandparents. I didn't know like sort of the extent of it, but I knew that they weren't going to be the real grandparents.
Yeah.
It just sort of, it was very predictable in that respect. But I liked how they were doing the whole mental patient thing. I like that.
Yeah, it's like an old school trope that I kind of appreciate them going back to.
Yeah.
And I do think the actors playing both grandparents did a pretty decent job, at least having fun with the crazy side of things. So that's cool.
So they were there for a week, right? The imposter grandparents.
Yeah.
All right, so that shed was full. He was not burning those diapers. And again, that just goes to tell me he needed to find a better place to put them. You know?
Yeah, but he had just gotten there, so he just decided to go for the shed.
Yeah, so
It's more of they were only there for a short amount of time before the kids get there, and he filled up that many diapers.
Yeah.
So I guess the tension's meant to ramp up after they find out, because then they're aware. The mother's immediately trying to drive there while phoning the police.
Yeah.
To try and do something about it, and the grandparents are insisting that they play Yahtzee with the grandkids, and the grandkids are sitting terrified because they know there people sitting there with them are escaped mental patients. And then shit goes weird, and they split up into essentially two groups. The daughter ends up in the bedroom with the grandmother, who starts acting like she's possessed by a demon.
Yep.
By running around and crawling around and doing all sorts of crazy shit.
Crawling under the sheets.
Yeah.
Oh, that scene was hilarious. That scene was...
Maybe for some great visuals, but the more you think about it, the more you're just like, wow, she's really let it go.
I think that was my problem with a lot of this movie, is that there's good ideas here, but a lot of it is just coming across as silly to me.
Yeah.
There's a real feeling of silliness as you're watching it.
Yeah, I was more interested in what the grandma did to put her in the nut house. Where you find out that she put her kids in a suitcase, and then drowned them. So they could go into space to that planet.
That would get you in Nut House. To be fair, that would get you in.
I kind of felt that was M. Night making fun of his previous movies, because I started thinking of Lady in the Water with the creatures in the water. I'm thinking After Earth, and I'm just thinking he's making fun of himself right here.
Yeah.
The other side of this, of course, is down in the kitchen, the grandpa and the boy, and what got the biggest laugh in the entire movie was the grandpa shoving his used diaper full of shit into the son's face.
That was so stupid. Why?
Because he was a germaphobe.
Don't you?
Yeah.
The magic spell, it's on you. You're protected. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's not my kind of humor, It's not.
Yeah.
I didn't find it very funny.
I didn't laugh. I felt gross, and someone loves Jackass.
I didn't think it was. For me, it felt like it was meant to be horrifying, but it came across as funny.
Yeah.
I was more just kind of disgusted, kind of horror. Not. I didn't laugh, but it was more. How could you do that? Why? Even if you're a mental patient.
Yeah, well, when he started taking off his pants, the teenagers behind me gasped like the kid was going to get raped. It's like, guys, it's M. Night. It's not Oz. Like, let's chill, I'm not
gonna lie though. I think everyone worried a little bit when he started unbuckling his belt. You're like, oh shit, where's this going?
I guarantee you guys didn't audibly gasp and go, "Oh no, not the boy!" Like the idiot behind me did. So, but yeah, it's. That was the one. Also, the other thing that intrigued me, like, again, all these little tiny things that M. Night put in there, like the grandpa claiming that there was a creature that worked with him at the factory, and that's what caused him to...
that ran around with yellow eyes.
Yeah.
You could see him, except him.
Yeah, and then, it's out in the woods and stuff, and I thought, So, again, him seeing the tiny things to me was way more interesting than the stuff that was going on.
Yeah, the backstory stuff that was hinted at and all that kind of stuff was a lot more interesting. And I think, we've said this before, but I think it really says to the fact that Shyamalan is actually a really good director, but he needs probably someone else to write him a good script now.
Yeah, he's a great director, but not so great storyteller.
I think he's fine at being a storyteller. It's just about who gets final draft.
Yeah.
It's like he wrote Devil, and that's far from the worst movie he's been associated with.
Yeah.
Cough, After Earth, cough.
Well, actually, good thing you brought up After Earth. I learned something new about that. After Earth, there's actually a lot of rumors that he didn't even really direct it. Will Smith mostly directed it, and he just set up shots. He just was a work for hire.
I'm just here for a paycheck.
He took that money and used it for this. He made this entirely himself with the After Earth money.
And that was the whole thing. This movie only cost $5 million to make, right? Something like that? Something super tiny?
So After Earth, I'm starting to think maybe it wasn't actually his fault for that. That's really just Will Smith wanting to make a Scientology
Oh wait,
film.
Yeah.
was there a twist in After Earth?
I've
Or
kind of
no?
mentally blocked it. Kevin, you were more recent.
I don't think I can't remember. I can't remember one.
No, it was more just a standard kind of terrible sci-fi film.
Yeah.
Scientology sci-fi.
You know a movie was good when you can't remember if there was a twist or not at the
Yeah, always a good sign.
end.
It was Will Smith's Battlefield Earth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that sounds quite accurate actually. All right, so where are we on this film then? I mean, just like how much did people actually like or dislike this? You know, was this one of his worst movies? Was this actually not bad? You know, I think for me personally, having not seen his last like 3 movies, the last one I saw was The Happening, because let's face it, every other one since then has been like got nuclear heat to the point where I'm like, I don't want to touch these. Like,
It's got Xbox heat.
Just don't.
yeah, so I mean, it's better than The Happening. I'll say that much. It's got a lot more interesting touches in it to make it better than that, I think. For me, it feels like he was trying to do what he used to do well. And it's just not quite hitting the mark, but maybe it's a good sign that he's trying again. Maybe he feels reinvigorated by doing smaller budget films. I don't know. But yeah, Alex, how do you feel about this in terms of the pantheon of M. Night?
Yeah, overall, because while you were listing off different titles, I realized I think this is probably the first of his movies since maybe The Village that I actually, and I think when it comes to like a complete movie about like what it was trying to do, like The Village and Lady in the Water are very disappointing because they have really good aspects to them. Like they're very there's a great score with Lady in the Water. With The Village, it's very beautifully shot, but like on a lot of other aspects, it just kind of fails. This movie had a lot of a lower expectation. Like it tried to do something a lot simpler, and I went in knowing practically nothing. I didn't know it was a horror comedy. I didn't know it was found footage. I didn't know it centered exclusively by following the kids. I didn't know what any of it was going to be like. So I walked out going, you know what? I surprisingly liked it. And the kids didn't annoy me nearly as much as I thought that they might. So I'd probably put this as 4th best, actually.
Oh.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that I enjoyed The Village more than this, certainly.
I mean, I'd still give this like a 6.5 or a 7.
We'll get
at
to ratings in a
most,
minute.
but-
We'll
Yeah,
get,
it was okay.
get to ratings in a minute, Alex. Don't mess with
He's
the
the
format.
guest. He's new.
Sorry, I don't usually listen. I'm not a horror aficionado.
So yeah, I might even see this is tricky with me. I'd say it's a bit on par with Lady in the Water.
Oh.
Mainly because I think Lady in the Water has better ideas and has a better score, whereas as a finished thing, this works just a bit better as a complete whole. But that's where I'd sort of put it in terms of comparing it to these other films.
I'm a bit more with Alex. I put it closer to The Village, and actually, I'm with Alex. I like it more than The Village. I haven't yet seen Unbreakable, so I can't say it's the 4th best. So it's currently the 3rd best of what I've seen. It doesn't come close to Signs or Sixth Sense, but I actually enjoyed this film.
Right,
I enjoyed it. I laughed the entire time.
But you were threatening Kevin before we came on
Yeah.
air.
I was a full twist. In honor of this show.
Matt,
I actually really enjoyed this film. I was laughing the whole time through. Jesse and I kept looking at each other and go, you know what? I like this. I'm happy I came to see this. It made me feel good. I walked out of the theater with a smile on my face.
okay, Matt.
I haven't seen anything of his since The Village to now. So I've never seen Lady in the Water. No, The Happening, nothing. Most I know about The Happening is the Mark Wahlberg. Oh my god, it's the treats. No, so I would put this. I would put this at the bottom end.
Yeah. Well, given that you've only seen his first 4 films, that makes sense.
Yeah. So definitely.
Kevin, as the M Night fanatic.
I don't. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna. I think in terms
So
of ranking.
conflicted.
Yeah, I know. I think in terms of ranking his films, I'd put The Village as number 1, Then The Sixth Sense is number 2. Then Signs is number 3. Then I've not seen Later in the Water. Then Unbreakable. Then this. Then The Happening. But I'd say The Happening and this is on very the similar plane. But that's not an insult because I actually really enjoyed The Happening.
There's the twist, people.
You're a
We found
madman.
the person that liked it.
And I'm really glad Joseph ate his words because he was gone for months about how awful this film was going to be, and so now I'm really glad he enjoyed it.
Probably enjoyed more than you actually.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if I'd say he ate his words. I would say, I mean, he did just say he was laughing the entire time. To me, that's not necessarily the full on effect that M Night was wanting.
But he
Well,
said
I-
he really enjoyed it.
There were scenes.
That's what matters.
The hide and seek scene stood out to me. I enjoyed. I'm going to get you. The grandmother, for the most part, was just the best part of this whole movie to me. I enjoyed every scene she was in. I did enjoy the kiss. I laughed during the freestyle rap. I mean, there's not a moment in this film I just hated. I liked it.
God, this is a twist. There's actually more positivity on this episode than I thought there was going to be. This is
What is-
Last week we even said we were probably going to rip it apart like you did Fantastic Four.
yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, the difference is that here there's
I found up and left.
there's a lot of intentional comedy here. So like a lot of these other examples, just it's like The Happening was not intentionally supposed to be funny. It
No, of
just
course
is
not.
because it's that horrible. Sorry.
I'm
You
not
guys
stop being so
pick up-
serious.
On the so the kids are playing that game where they make up who's in the building, right? And they say there's a cop named Jerry, and he never answers the phone. Yet when they call the police station, the answering machine that picks up is a cop named Jerry, and he's not there right now. And so I thought, wow, I think Shyamalan being not actualizing, but self-referential, maybe.
Well, he does that thing where everything that gets mentioned sort of plays into the ending somehow.
Yeah.
Because that story about how the boy choked when he was playing
Yep.
American football in front of his dad, and then at the end
That
of the
was
movie,
my favorite part.
he tackles the grandpa when he's about to
Yeah.
hurt the sister.
Yeah.
And he
That
does
was
it
a-
twice. Not enough, and then he kingpins the grandpa at the fridge door, right?
Just starts slamming into his head.
And the way that he's getting up too, and as that I played football, he says, "Hips straight, eyes up," and he's yelling, and I can't help that if I didn't fist pump the guy.
Well, I feel like, at this point, like we said at the start, they should be in therapy for years after this ordeal.
Yeah.
Both of them were just forced to kill someone to protect themselves in a really bad ordeal. But instead of that, we cut to him freestyling while she's doing makeup in the background, as if everything's normal now.
Oh, but
Well,
he's
we get
doing
one
it.
short follow-up interview with the
Oh, that's
mom.
true. Yes, we get the
Yeah.
emotional conclusion to the film where the mum admits what happened when she when she stormed out on her parents. Because that's the sort of mystery that's been set up throughout the entire thing. Is the kids want to know what happened in that day because the mum won't tell them. And I guess the whole point of this film is because the daughter is like, I'm not going to use any footage of my dad because he left us, and I'm not going to do that. I hate him. I'm always going to hate him. But when our mother opens up and sort of like cries about the fact that about hitting our mother and then our dad hitting her, she sort of learns that she can't hate forever. She has to forgive and remember why she loves people. And I guess that's the whole point of the film. And I think for me, had that worked better, I might have liked this film a lot more. For me, it felt a little bit forced and just a little bit shallow.
Felt like it wedged in there as an afterthought. Like, oh, hey, we got to bring back the dad subplot.
Well,
You know?
I didn't so much feel the ending was tacked on. I felt like just the entire subplot of that throughout the whole thing felt like it was layered on to give the impression of like a dramatic layer to what was otherwise just a sort of horror comedy.
Right.
And had they pulled that off, I think it would have worked quite well. But I don't think they did. I think that's something Shyamalan did much better in previous films with the emotional impact and connection to his
yeah,
characters.
Signs. I think that's where he gets to speak.
Yeah. Whereas with this, I mean, I kind of, I mean, it works okay for what it is, but I never felt like it directly connected to the rest of the film.
I disagree. I really
Really?
thought that I thought it worked for me. Maybe it's just because after I didn't know it was found footage, and then I went into it and I was like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna treat this kind of like it's, you know, a kid's home movie, like how this plays out, and so you only get glimpses of like how the kids see all of this family drama going on. So it only gets poked at more as it goes along, and I mean, I can, the ending scene was a little. My problem is more with how nobody's reacting like the craziest fucking shit just happened. And they're all just like, sure, I'll finish the movie for my daughter that had to murder somebody when I left her alone. And my parents are dead too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, I'll do this. And there's a little teary eye, like, please don't hold on to hate. And it's like, okay, yeah, good.
Oh,
Thanks for saying the moral of the story. But be a little bit more of a human before then. Go ahead.
That one lady that went in to check on him, she's hanging in the tree. Right?
Yeah.
I just remembered that for some reason. So, are we supposed to believe that Grandpa put her up there?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we saw how strong he was earlier when he
Yeah.
attacked that guy. That he didn't even remember. He's very strong.
It's an old man strength.
Yeah.
We saw her come and kind of have a verbal argument with the grandparents, and then they go, and then the boy remarks, "She didn't leave."
Yeah.
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 It's,
I don't think the emotional side to it actually. It feels disconnected to the rest of the film. I don't think it gels together as well as it hopefully should
I think
have.
it bothers you a little bit more just because that's where all of the coincidences have to happen. It's like, well, they don't have any pictures of the grandparents because they had to have this fight, so then they aren't a part of their life or anything, you know. So it feels like it's designed just to have this situation happen as opposed to it being a dramatic thing. And I don't know, maybe that could be a reason why it didn't, you know, get held up a little bit more to you, because you were going in wanting to see a horror movie, so you're like, what is this shit? I don't care.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I like when I have more depth in a film than I went in expecting. Like, I actually appreciate when that happens. I just don't think it worked here as much. Like, it might have worked more for me had we seen more. I mean, obviously this wouldn't work with the found footage aspect, but had we seen more of the mother, and the mother perhaps realising that the reason why this has even happened in the first place is because she was too stubborn to go with them to see her parents. Like, had she went with them, this wouldn't have happened. Because she would have seen them immediately and went, oh, wait a minute. Let's not go to their house because that's not my parents.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If we'd have got a bit more of that guilt and a bit more of that realisation, maybe it'd work more for me. But as it is, I think it just feels a little bit light. But I think that's most of the things talked about. So does anyone want to bring up anything else about the film before we get to ratings?
Oh, I really hope. Well, it's made about 25 million in its opening day.
No,
Open
opening
weekend.
weekends.
Opening weekend.
Opening weekend. I really hope that it makes much more, and M. Night continues to make a ton more films, because
with that budget, Blumhouse and him might make a few more.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
Blumhouse.
this is his new MO. He's gonna do a lot more of these smaller movies because he's not a blockbuster name anymore.
No, he's not.
You know.
No, because when M. Night Shyamalan comes on the screen now, the theatre groans. Yeah,
Yep.
people are like, oh god, not another one.
I remember when Lady in the Water came out, theaters have to invest in what they have to estimate how many people are going to see this movie.
Yeah, because they need to pick how many screens are going to be showing it.
A theater that was near me guessed that Lady in the Water would wipe out Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, which ended up being the #1 movie that year. And Lady in the Water opened up third. That theater closed down.
Yeah.
You know,
Twist.
you know what? I'll say it. I'd rather watch Lady in the Water again than sit through that piece of shit Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh, Pete. you're kidding me.
Oh no!
David
Well,
Jones.
because at least you can close your eyes and listen to a good score, whereas
Yeah.
Pirates movie is like 2.5 hours long.
Of really
That's a great
bad
score
movie.
too, though. That's
Yeah,
Zimmer
Klaus
and
It's
Badell.
Hans Zimmer,
Hans Zimmer
but-
takes over. Well, Klaus Badell was the first one, and
Was it?
Hans Zimmer just kind of took it.
Well, they ease into it. Yeah.
But if you listen to Gladiator's score, you realize that Klaus Badell stole Gladiator's score, which is Hans
so,
Zimmer's.
so it comes back around. Yeah, everything tracks
Yeah.
back to Hans Zimmer. All right,
Yeah,
okay, so
difference.
let's do some ratings. So how many granny ass cheeks out of 10 Or
So wait, does the pair count as one, or does each cheek count as one?
just each cheek counts as
Well,
one.
that's for 0.5s, Matt.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. Right. So, Joseph, let's start with you. How many naked granny ass cheeks out of 10?
Like I said, I actually liked the film. I laughed the entire time. I didn't feel like I hated any part of it. My wife said it kind of dragged a little for her, but I didn't feel that. I was fine the entire runtime. Left the theater with a smile. So, M. Night Shyamalan, congratulations. I am so happy. 7 granny ass cheeks out of 10.
Awesome. Matt?
I just had the realization that it was either granny ass cheeks or old man diapers. So made the right.
Made the right
I
call.
don't know if we made the right choice. Yeah. I'll put it at do I want to go the half-ass cheek or no?
Don't half-ass this, Matt.
6.
Don't half-ass this. Put everything you've got
I
into
will,
it.
I'll full ass it in Grand Ron Swanson fashion. I'll give it 6.
Alright, okay. Kevin?
I'm trying to mentally sort through all the ratings I've given any of his other
It's his
films.
brain fighting with his heart in this epic battle.
I think I'll be a bit generous. I think I'll give M. Night the upper hand and give it a 7.5.
Wow.
To
Are
granny
you
ass
doing it
cheeks.
just so that you have a higher love of it than me? Or is that your
No.
authentic rating?
No, I think that's my thing. Yeah, I think I could rewatch it a few times.
He went
Okay,
in,
so
he went in expecting like a 9.5, so this is disappointing for him. That's what we're saying here.
that's true. I went in expecting a 3.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
really
Alex, how many granny ass cheeks out of 10?
I spoiled it earlier, but I'm gonna change it. 10 out of 10 ass cheeks. No, I don't think so. The visit wasn't that great. I'll go with 6.5. I described it to my girlfriend whenever I got back from the theater, and she was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I might want to see that whenever it comes out on Netflix or whatever." It's like, okay, I'll probably rewatch it with her. So that should say something. I haven't had that kind of feeling for M. Night in a long time.
Since
Good long
Science
while.
of the Village.
Since Signs, yeah.
Okay, well, where do I fall in this? Honestly, there's things I liked about it. There is genuinely things I liked about it. But there was a really weird tone to me throughout, I think, that ultimately, and that silliness drags it down a little bit for me. So I think I'm going the lowest of anyone here when I say 5.5 granny ass cheeks. But let's be honest here, if the lowest score out of all 5 of us is 5.5, then this is actually quite a big win for Mr. Shyamalan.
Let's see, that's a total of 33 divided by 5. So that's about 6.5 average score.
Yeah,
from
six
us.
to 6.5 average there out of us, so that's...
What did you guys expect it to be? Like, what rating were
expected
you
a 3.
expecting to?
Yeah,
have?
I was thinking about a 3.
I was thinking I was going to
4.
watch Lady in the Water or The Happening again. I hate those
Yes.
films.
The Happening.
You need to watch Lady in the Water.
I hate Lady in the Water. I can't stand it.
I don't hate Lady in the Water, I just think it's...
I have to walk out. Like, I tried rewatching it, and less than 20 minutes in, I'm done. I'm not torturing myself again. I'm not.
Okay.
Get the
Which is
soundtrack
worse?
and listen to the soundtrack, you'll enjoy that.
Well, I enjoyed Bryce Dallas Howard, so she's in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joseph,
And there's an interesting mythology
Mm-hmm.
that MI just does not capitalize on at all.
Play with it all.
The very
Joseph?
opening sequence is kind of interesting, and then you just destroy them.
Yeah, they got those crazy
Kevin.
space aliens that live in the water that let you sleep forever, and then they have invisible antenna to go back to Cinemorph or whatever. That's what
And
the
they're
grandmother said in this
invisible.
movie.
Not at his finest. Yes, Kevin.
Okay.
which is worse, Lady in the Water or The Happening to you?
To me, it's actually Lady in the Water.
I would agree.
Alright.
I wouldn't agree
The
with
happening.
that. Happening.
The happening. The happening. I like the lawnmower scene. I enjoy seeing some of the deaths because it's the people just going to their suicides.
Yeah.
And so that is enough to kind of keep me interested to see how many more people kill themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on a horror podcast. You're gonna say that's dark.
That's dark, man. You like watching people kill themselves.
Well,
It's a little bit dark. All right, guys. I think that'll wrap us up then. Before we go down a tangent of just M. Night Shyamalan's back history.
But
Shamalamala.
for everyone decently enjoying this, I think there's been a bit of an M Night hate. I think you've on like it's like an underlying tone just throughout this podcast.
Well, Kevin,
you've all just been jabbing.
Well,
his other
Kevin,
films.
right, understand this. I feel betrayed by M. Night Shyamalan because see back in like 2001, 2002, if you'd have asked me my opinion on M. Night Shyamalan then, I'd have said he's one of the best directors around. Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that was that Entertainment Weekly cover where it said the next Spielberg.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like
Made
Sixth
me throw up
Sense.
in my mouth a little.
Sixth Sense is an amazing film. I think Unbreakable's a masterpiece. I think Unbreakable is his best film. Right.
I haven't seen that.
I love Signs. Village is a bit flawed, yes, but I mean I still enjoyed that when it came out, and then it was after that when it started to properly dip, right?
Then he goes to the shed.
But then The Happening, like it's like by the time you get to The Happening though, it's like this complete turd of a movie that everyone's making fun of, and he didn't recover from that at all. His next like 2 movies after that were just turds again.
Airbender won worst film of the year.
Yeah, it didn't help that he took a franchise that was beloved to many people, including myself, and just took it out to the shed. Like just
He
like Matt
still
said,
defends it though. He still defends Last Airbender.
You know what? That just six. Now I'm dropping the points down. You guys reminded me that he ruined something I love. 6.
Well, at least he has the honor and the integrity to stand by something he made, and he said, "I enjoyed this. I enjoyed making this. I think this is a good film."
He made it for his children.
Meanwhile,
He needs to be
Kate
respected.
Mara's not even watched Fantastic Four yet. She can't bring herself to do it.
Can you blame
Did you
her?
see the article about Simon Kinberg? He is devoted to a sequel.
Oh god.
How is he getting her back?
And Tommy Wiseau wants to direct it,
Money.
so if that happens, I'm cool with it. But anyway, let's wrap this up, guys, because we're going down tangents here at the end to keep this going. So we'll get this going. That was The Visit. That's M. Night Shyamalan's new film. Still sort of, verging on mediocre, but a much more positive response than I think we were predicting even just last week. So I win,
Rent it.
I guess. So go M. Night. Get better next time.
And he's coming back. He's not in return form yet, but he's getting
No,
there.
he's not there yet. But I mean, he's
He's
clawing his
getting there.
way. He's clawing his way back up bit by bit.
Maybe we'll have another Village or another Sixth Sense or another Unbreakable in a few years' time.
He
Here's
wants to do
hoping.
Unbreakable too.
Yeah, although I'm
That's
worried.
what we're signs.
I'm worried that he's going to just ruin Unbreakable with a sequel. Like, but the feeling in the pit of my stomach is that I don't think he has it in him anymore. So I don't
Yeah.
want him to touch it. But right, let's wrap this up, guys. So let's have a quick round of plugs, and I do mean quick. But first up, you can follow Mailed Fuzz on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. You can also email us at mailedfuzz@gmail.com. If you want to suggest films for us to cover or ask us questions, you can do that there, and we will respond. But the rest of us, you can find kicking about. Kevin, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at momoguy123.
Matt.
You can find me on Twitter at MadofSteel57 and on 1.21 Gigawatts with Pete and on Seth Happens, the Mild Fuzz Star Wars podcast.
Cool. Joseph.
I am on Letterboxd and Twitter at jkohler_93. I am also at the Facebook Mild Fuzz group where I constantly go against Overlord Peter's demands. And if you do follow my Twitter, I'm actually about to do an Indiana Jones marathon. So Team Temple
Oh,
Raiders.
snap!
Team Temple Raiders.
Cool. Alex.
Yeah, you can find me here on the Mild Fuzz Network doing the Almost Canceled Television podcast, and you can find me on Twitter at Alex Oldhauser.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter and other social media places at Wibble89. You can also find me on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast here called The Slayer Revisited, in which we review every episode of Buffy and Angel in viewing order. It's a hoot. Come join us and we watch along, and a bunch of other stuff too. And I'll also take this moment, just since we're on a horror podcast, to promote the fact that on the 1080-bit Plays channel on YouTube and Twitch channel, we've been streaming a lot of horror video games. Most recently, Alien Isolation, which has been making me absolutely shit myself in terror. So check that out if you're interested. So, although I don't have a diaper like Grandpa from the visit. Oh, Matt, Ultron.
Robot from the
Ultron.
future set to kill us.
Ultron, Matt.
Goddamn time traveling robots trying to cover their tracks.
Yes, because Matt's never been on this show, so I should just mention that every so often Matt's microphone decides to turn him into a robot until he unplugs it and plugs it back in again. But yeah, so guys, that'll wrap us up for this week on Screams After Midnight. We will be back again next Wednesday with another film, another recent one from this year called Unfriended. So look forward to that next.
I have a feeling that's gonna end.
Footage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that found footage, but we can debate that next week.
I think that movie's gonna have the effect of it's gonna unfriend a lot of you.
So thanks for watching, guys, or listening. Do like and rate us and thumbs up and all that on YouTube, on iTunes, on Stitcher. We appreciate it a lot. It helps us out. Shares around like the best type of sexually transmitted disease you can possibly get. Keep watching horror movies, guys, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. And Kevin, stay absolutely still, as if there's a T-Rex in front of you waiting to eat you.
I think I'd run.
You've been eating.
Clearly, Jurassic Park's taught you nothing.
Yeah, going by the rules of Jurassic Park, you stay still when a T-Rex is in front of you.
Well, I don't play by the rules.